Hi soap fans, Coronation Street part 4. So we left off with Jodie telling her story of abuse. She's been to a meeting for abused women or domestic violence sufferers. I don't know whether it's exclusively women or men as well, because we've got the other story of abuse going on with Theo and Todd, but he's not at that meeting. So Jodie, who is Shona's long lost sister, turns up at the meeting, listens to all the sob stories, goes home and tells Shona word for word a story of abuse that happened to one of the other people at the meeting. And it's really done well with flashbacks. So we flash back to the woman telling a couple of sentences, and then Jodie picks it up in Shona's flat house, in Shona's house, and then we go back to the meeting for a couple of sentences. It's really nice. Megan has, we think she's had the abortion. We're almost certain she's had the abortion, but she's told Will that she hasn't. Will is putting the pressure on for her to end it with Daniel. She says she still wants to be with Will, but she has to keep up this front for propriety's sake and not getting caught and everything else. Will is 16 now, but this affair happened when he was 14 or 15 or even 13, who knows. She does let slip in a much later episode that she's been coaching kids for 6 years. Now, if she's takes them from tots through, then she could have been with him for years, but I suspect it's only been a year or two. Nick's son, Sam. We haven't seen him for months and we love Sam. Sam is brilliant. He popped up and he's helping at the school with first aid for the sports day event. This is how we integrate Sam into the Will and Megan story. We've already had a funny look from Sam. Tim and Sal, they're trying to inject some humour after all the drama, all the psychopaths, all the murderers. They're trying to slowly start injecting some humour back into it. Now, whether they've listened to the online groups or not is anybody's guess, but when you go on the groups, all people are saying is, I'm done, I'm finished, it's ridiculous what has happened to Coronation Street and Emmerdale. The storylines are just pathetic at the moment. And where's the humour? Where's the ordinary life? Everything's so big and spectacular. Or is that just my thoughts that I'm rehashing? No, I have heard people saying all this. They want the humour back. They want the fun. So, Carla and Lisa hear an argument next door. Tim and Sally live next door with a whole host of kids that they're fostering. Lisa goes up to the wall with a glass to have a listen. The next thing is Sally's banging on the doorstep and Lisa invites her in and she's had a big row with Tim. We don't really find out what it's about at that point, but Lisa and Carla are rolling their eyes at each other. They were just going upstairs for a bit of nookie when she arrives. They're rolling their eyes at each other, wanting to get rid of her, but she's plonked herself down on the sofa. So Lisa says, would you like a cup of coffee, Sally? Carla gives her the look. What did you say that for? And Sally says, have you got anything a little bit stronger? So that's Sally on the wine. We're doomed. They're not getting their sexy time this afternoon, that's for sure. Shona has decided she wants to see her dad. She shares a dad with Jodie, different mums, same father. Dad's a bit of a drinker. Shona's going to start going round pubs on the old estate to see if she can find him. Another boy turns up for this sports event. And it just happens to be a boy from the old school in Hull who was on the same sports team as Will. Is that likely? Is it really on a little small town schools sports day? I know they have inter-county, you know, you do things for the county and you do things for the area. But this was Wethie High sports day. Why would a boy from Hull be competing? Anyway, he is. And of course, he's another one that Megan has been dallying with. Jodie's flirting with Carl. She is warned off by Abby and by Shona and by anybody else with a pulse, but no, she's going to go there. So there's chemistry between those two and it's all heating up. Megan, we see Megan in the alley. Everything happens in that alley. That alley is a hotbed of gossip. So Megan pulls Lee, which is this new boy, into the alley. She's pulled Daniel into that alley. She's pulled Will into that alley. She's probably had sex many times in that alley. Anyway, she tells Lee they had a really nice time. He was a good lover, but it's over now. It used to be fun, but it's over now. Don't call me again. Is that the end we see of Lee? I very much doubt it. Sally is as pissed as new in Carla and Lisa's house. Carla and Lisa are just, what can we do? You know, as Sally's holding a glass out for another fill-up of Carla's expensive wine. It was the good stuff. They didn't give us any cheap stuff. It was a good bottle of wine. Carla gets on the phone and tells Tim, I've got your wife here. She's drunk. Come and get her now and bring flowers. And we find out that the argument was because Tim called Sally a Karen, of all things. I'm not a Karen. Back with part 5. Thank you very much. Nice chat.